So today I'm going to talk about eating disorders and university. Obviously moving to university and living with new people that are strangers in halls or in an apartment or whatever, and starting a university degree are all very stressful things, and they can trigger an eating disorder or trigger a relapse. And I just want to talk about, what you can do to help yourself if this happens at university. Obviously, you would rather prevent it in the first place. If you do think that you're developing issues with food and weight or even exercise or anything like that, then do seek out professional help immediately, or you can go to your doctor, or you can go to university should have counselling. You should have counselling services at your university. So if you're developing problems and you're aware of that, then go there ASAP. You want to nip it in the bud. You do not want to let it develop any further, I promise you. For those who have developed problems while at university, I already relapsed before I went to university. It wasn't noticeable before I went to university, and it got a lot worse at uni, but university wasn't really the trigger. I mean, I didn't find going to uni too stressful, actually. I'm not really one to really worry about those kind of things. Like, it didn't really bother me living with people I didn't know. I mean, we had our issues sometimes, but, it was fine. Like, I didn't really, mind, and... So yeah, I'd already relapsed by the time I went, but a lot of people find that they go and then relapse. Firstly, I want to say that if you're sick and you're struggling and, your university course, being at university is not helping, going home is an option. It's not weak to quit a course and go home because you need help. I think a lot of people with eating disorders find that they feel that it's a weakness if they quit. But it's not. Your a university degree versus your life. Your life is so much more important, If you're sick and you graduate, that you're still going to be sick, and you can't really function in life if you are sick. So you can always put off education. Education will always be there for you, and you can explain to uni if you need a term off, or if you need a year off, or if you just want to quit entirely. And if you do just want a term off, or you want to defer for a year, universities will help you with that. And they are quite understanding when mental health is concerned. I have quite a few friends who have taken terms or years off, and that's absolutely fine. It's good. You need to look after yourself. Your health is a priority. It is your top priority. And I read this in a book recently. Dead girls don't graduate. So, that's true. It's hard. It's a hard, harsh fact, but it's true. You can't, if you get sick and you have health complications, and you end up dying, you can't graduate, Education's always going to be there. Your life is fragile and you need to take care of it. Your health, you need to take care of, and graduation can happen at any time. So please do go home and get better if that is what you need. If you feel that your university course, or just the fact of being away from home, or any other stressful situation at your university is being destructive for you and your recovery, then please do go home. If you do want to stick it out, of course, then that's also fine as well. I didn't drop out. My mum did say, you can come home if you want to. I think that she kind of did want me to come home at that point because I was very ill and I wasn't in recovery at that point. But I said, no, there's nothing for me at home either, because the situation for me, university for me wasn't, I don't feel it was particularly stressful, it wasn't really having a large impact on my eating disorder. And for me, being home and being at uni would have been the same, except I would have been really, really far away from my partner at the time. And he was my biggest support. So being at home actually would have been less constructive and helpful for me. And also being at home, I wouldn't have like anything to do at all, and all my friends would be at uni, and it would have been worse for me. I mean, I had a lot of support around me at my university. But yeah, and also with my course I do photography, so I channeled my emotions into my work, whereas you can't do that if you're obviously doing an academic course or anything. And those are generally far more stressful when you have an eating disorder, because, you know, artists like to channel their emotions into their work, whereas if you're doing academic stuff, you can't do that. It's not an outlet, it's just pure work. So yeah, but you know, if you are at university and you're struggling, please reach out to a GP who can refer you to get counselling or to have some medication, like antidepressants, stuff like that. You obviously go to your university, get some counselling there. Those usually have a very short waiting list compared to stuff on the NHS, because that has a very long waiting list. I had an initial assessment and waited 8 months before I got cognitive behavioural therapy, and I only had 6 sessions. So it wasn't very helpful. I mean, obviously, if your health is quickly deteriorating, you will be put right to the top of the list. But yeah, if you just are wanting some counselling and stuff, university services you should go to first, because their waiting list is much shorter. You could also go to your GP and ask for a referral to the eating disorder services, or just for general counselling, whichever you prefer. And then whilst you're on the waiting list waiting, you could then go to university and get some, in the meantime, which is what I did. I had some counselling at university whilst I was waiting on the waiting list. Make sure that you do reach out, that you don't keep your problems to yourself. Make sure you have a strong support network, friends, partners, family members, anyone who is going to be encouraging and supportive, and not harmful to your recovery. Get rid of all toxic relationships. People who are triggering, people who don't treat you well, you need to get rid of them. I learnt this probably in the last year, that just getting rid of toxic relationships, I just couldn't be bothered anymore. I realised with some of my relationships I was putting a massive effort in and not getting anything, or getting the bare minimum returned to me, so I just cut them off really in the end. And that's what you need to do. Like, you need to look after yourself first. If you have someone who is triggering, they're going to bring you down. And if you have someone as well who is has an eating disorder as well, and they're triggering you and they're not helping your recovery, you need to cut them off too. It may seem harsh at the time, but if they're not going to help your recovery and they're actually going to hinder it, having 2 sick people is worse than having 1 sick person. You can't help someone whilst you're sick yourself. So yeah, you need to look after yourself first, and when you're in a better place, then you might be able to go back and help them. But if you're not in a good place and somebody's bringing you down, having double the amount of sick people is not good at all. It doesn't help either one of you. So yeah, those are pretty much my suggestions for when you are at university. Have a strong support network if you're going to stay in university and continue with your course. That's going to be the most helpful. As I said, partners, family, friends, and professionals as well. And I'm going to stress this point again, that if you need to leave university, then please do so. If you need to quit or defer for a month or a year or a term, please do that, because It's your health. I cannot stress enough that your health is far more important than education. Education will always be there for you, but you know, if you leave your life, you leave your life for good. If you leave your education, you can always come back to it. So please remember that. Do look after yourselves. And it's sunny today, so I'm going to go out for coffee with my friend. And I hope that it's sunny where you are and that you're doing something nice and that you're having a good day. And if you aren't, please reach out to someone so that they can help you. Sorry that this video is a day late. Yeah, chin up everybody, stay strong, and have a nice day.